Hey man, I'm gonna try to finish this video without laughing. Hey, like, like I said, man. As sad as I am, cause Georgia's not gonna be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Not able to three-peat. But man, it feels so good, man. You know, I wanted to play Florida State so bad these past few years. You know what I'm saying? And then it happened in a year. Like Florida State went 13-0. You know what I'm saying? Went 13-0. You know. They made history in the wrong way. Florida State made history by getting beat the worst. They bowl game history. 63-3. 63-3. Oh my god, like Florida State. Well, the Seminoles ain't got manhandled and pushed around this bad since the Trail of Tears. Hey, RIP all the dead idiots, man, you feel me? You know, my grandma was half any RIP. But either way, I mean, it was a low blow joke. I would just say, they ain't got dominated and conquered since Christopher Columbus came, you know what I'm saying? Either way, and you Florida State fan, I don't want to hear nothing like what Georgia had. Y'all was in my comment section, you know what I'm saying? Coming on my video saying, oh, Georgia, you know, Georgia. I said, bro, Georgia gonna win by 30 to 40 points. I was generous. My score prediction, I think, was what, 49-10, 48-10, you know? I was generous, and I knew it was gonna happen. That's why I didn't go down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, because I knew as good as it would have been, you know, I would have got my money worth, but I knew it was gonna be a blowout. If it was a playoff game, I would have went, but it wasn't, so I didn't go. Either nonetheless about the game. Y'all Florida State fans, 2 or 3 weeks. Y'all, what cracks me up is, y'all knew for weeks, you know, that y'all players gonna opt out. Yeah, you know, y'all was still talking junk, saying, oh, Georgia, you know, Georgia or Carson Beck not that good. You know, Georgia still gonna play a very good Florida State defense. Look what Florida State did to Louisville, and look how Georgia almost lost to Georgia Tech, and they lost to Alabama. They got shut down by Alabama, and that's the only good team they played. Y'all still talking junk. You know what I'm saying? Even y'all knew Johnny Wilson was gonna play. Y'all knew Jerry Verse gonna play. Y'all knew Keon Coleman was gonna play. Y'all knew Jaheim Bell was gonna play. Y'all knew that. Trey Benson, well, I don't know about Trey Benson, but y'all eventually y'all knew he wasn't gonna play. But y'all still talking junk on me. You know, on Instagram and YouTube saying, oh, you crazy, you a delusional Georgia fan. You know, Georgia ain't played nobody all year, and they lost the only good team they played. You know what I'm saying? Y'all saying, oh, Georgia ain't got no offense like that. Georgia offense not elite, and Florida State defense still elite because Azariah Thomas and Fincher Cypress Jr. still playing. Well, Patrick Peyton Steele, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying, who got juked out by Ladd McConkey, you know what I'm saying, all the dudes still playing, what name, Kalen DeLoach still playing, y'all still saying that Florida State defense still was gonna keep the game close, you know what I'm saying, y'all still saying it, and y'all saying, oh, Hakeem Williams, 5-star wide receiver, oh, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna make some shape. He was gonna, you know what I'm saying, make some plays. Florida State still had 4 of their 5 starting O-linemen. They was gonna run the ball on Georgia because Auburn and Georgia Tech had 200-some rushing yards on Georgia. So if Auburn and Georgia Tech had 200 yards rushing on Georgia, Florida State, well, they run game can have 200 yards on Georgia. That was all I heard. But now After y'all took the beating of the century, like what Ron said, you know what I'm saying? The beating of the century. And it was all for you. Hey man, hey man, you know, like I said, sad as I hear, cause I want to see Georgia 3-peat, but it just feels so good. You know what I'm saying? You know, Sunday I might, go to Governor Square Mall, or just be dripped down at Georgia Kill. You know what I'm saying? It might be ghosted in there. You know, it might the women still be there. You know, some of the women still be there, but it's gonna be ghosted. You know, we're gonna see a lot of dudes not going. You know, the funny thing is whatever his name, Tofili, whatever his name is, dude was on the sideline laughing the whole game. He knew he wasn't hurt. I think he said he had a chest injury or something. Dude could have played. Dude could have very well played in that game. Dude knew what was gonna happen. Like, he knew that. Bro, like, if I would do, I don't know who that dude was crying. You know, I ain't see his name, but he was, first they played, he was crying. Like, what you crying for? You know, let's go 6-3-3 or that crying at the end of the game. He crying, got them trail of tears, like I said, man. Hey, man, come on, bro. I don't want to hear nothing out of y'all Florida State fans. Because I told y'all all year, from September, even when y'all beat LSU, from now, definitely after the Boston College game, I'm like, even with Jordan Travis and Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, Trey Benson, all these dudes, Jay Verse, you know what I'm saying? Y'all still was 2 to 3 touchdowns worse than Georgia. Like, I still feel a healthy FSU versus a healthy Georgia in a playoff game. You know, Georgia still wins 41-24. So I don't want to hear nothing. Yes, I ain't gonna say that Georgia would have beat Florida State by 60 points if they had they team. No, I ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But I still would bet my money on Georgia winning by 20. And that's just facts. Like, you saying, Georgia had over 30 players not playing this game. Florida State had around about 22, 23. And matter of fact, y'all, Florida State got Marvin Jones Jr. and he transferred to Florida State. Marvin Jones Jr. was a key contributor to Georgia defense all year. He didn't play. Smile Money Jr., our best linebacker, he didn't play. Maris Mills, the best right tackle, probably in the draft class. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound, he just don't have the snaps and the experience like the rest. But he's still going to be a first round tackle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play. Brock Ball was the best player in college football. He didn't play. So you know, I mean, well, a big game. You know, difference is Carson Beck played. You know what I'm saying? Brock Glenn, he did the best he could do. I mean, shout out to him. You know, he was confident going into the game. You know what I'm saying? He said that he felt like Florida State was better than Georgia. I mean, what it is. He was confident. He said they was ready to play. Mike Norvell said Florida State was ready to play. They was fired up. The players that was playing in this game was fired up to go compete against Georgia. You know? And they wasn't. I mean, they wasn't ready. They got pushed around. They came out strong. You know, Georgia was playing around. You know, filling them out. No, that's what they do. That's what they did all year. You know, if you watch all Georgia games, they would play around, you know, and they would give up a touchdown. Like, they would give up a touchdown or something. There is this Florida State couldn't score the ball, you know. And a few plays, they made a good few plays. You know, Brock Glenn, he made a good throws. He did his best he could do, you know. It what it is. And Georgia's just mad on Florida State. Like, Georgia did anything they could. And honestly, Georgia could have scored 100 points. Like I told y'all in the preview, I said, if Georgia want to win by 30 points, 40 points, 50 points, 60 points, 70 points, 80 points. If Georgia wanted to score 100 points versus Florida State, they could have. And they should have. I wish they would have. See how they go. Either way, it's all good, man. 60 points, bowl game record, I'll take it. Now go back to Tallahassee. Come on up here. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, like I don't want to hear nothing, cause at the end of the day, a lot of Florida State backups were still juniors, third year juniors, or redshirt juniors, fourth year players. They're gonna be back next year. That needs this, that needed that game to try to have a depth chart for going into the spring game. You know, like Hakeem Williams needed this game. You know, a lot of players for Florida State, Azariah Thomas, a lot of Florida State players, the younger players, Georgia's recruited heavily. Like, they recruited heavily. So I don't want to hear nothing. If Anthony Evans could score a touchdown, well, he a true freshman. Anthony Evans scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Keenan Milton ran through y'all like it was butter. You know, Dejan Evans ran through y'all. Even you had dudes I didn't even know. I had to look on the ESPN roster or to know who was playing. Like, I had dudes I ain't never heard before made plays versus Florida State. So if Georgia true freshmen can make plays like Pierce Sperling, Lawson Luckett, Anthony Evans, Roger Robinson, who ran all through Florida State, why can't Florida State 5-star freshmen and 4-star freshmen make plays? I'm just saying, like, 63-3, they don't happen. You supposed to be this talented team. Well, y'all told me that Florida State still had a lot of talent. Florida State still could compete against Georgia. And now, y'all got beat the beating of the century. Now it's, like, congrats to Georgia. They happy about being Florida State third string and walk-ons. That's a lie. A lot of those Florida State, Brock Glenn, he was a higher recruit than Tate Rodemaker. Like, literally, he was a Ohio State commit. Ohio State wanted to do bad. Then he flipped to Florida State. I don't want to hear nothing. Gunnar Stockton, he got in, and he had his way versus Florida State defense. I'm gonna put it like this. If Georgia was in the same boat, let's say if Florida State had a whole roster, and Georgia had, Brock Bowers sent out, Maris Mill sent out, Carson Beck sent out, Brock Vonnegut transfer, and Gunnar Stockton had to play, and then let's say Keenan Milton and Dejan Nevels didn't play, and Larry McConkey didn't play, and multiple defense players like, let's say Kamari Lassiter didn't play, Javon Pullett didn't play, you know what I'm saying, Smile Money, of course. Georgia still would have probably, I ain't gonna say they would have won, but it would have been a minimum 10-point lead game. Florida State would have won, 30-20 maybe? And that's pushing it, because, still, Georgia still had a lot of talent left. That's the difference. Ohio State recruited 1 through 50. Georgia recruited 1 through 80. That's the difference. You seen it. Georgia ran through Florida State like it was nothing. Yes, Florida State had a few flashes here and there. A couple things didn't go their way. Like on the catch, out of bounds, that hit, he bobbled. And Brock Glenn missed the throw. Wide open throw. When he was on the run, and dude, it just went right through his hands. And a few interceptions they didn't catch. There were 2 interceptions they could have had. They didn't get it. But either way, Georgia would not have got blown out by no Florida State if they had their backups in. That's the difference. It wouldn't have been Florida State would not have beat Georgia 63-3. They had a full team. And Georgia had a lot of players, star players out. And Georgia still, like I said, Georgia had more players out than Florida State did. The difference is those players for Florida State was more and more valuable. Like, it was more of their production, because Georgia rotates so much. So losing Marvin Jones Jr. and Smile Money and Jamon Dumas Johnson not playing hurts way less than DJ Lundy not playing. And I ain't gonna lie. Jalen Verse is gonna be a top 15 pick, maybe a top 10 pick after they come behind, and possibly a top 5 pick. But don't get it twisted now. Georgia's offense still was going to drop 30 points on Florida State, even if Florida State had their whole defense playing. They were still going to get 35. And you add in the fact that Florida State didn't have the offense, Georgia still was going to score 40. Florida State couldn't move the ball. They still was gonna score 40. I ain't gonna say they was a goal 6-3, but it was still been like 43 to 44 points scored on Florida State if they had their whole defense. So don't get it twisted. And Florida State, like I said, all year I watched Florida State, and they would go like 3, 4, 5, 6 drives in a row without doing nothing, without scoring, not doing nothing, and then they would snap. Like I would take one big play, then they back rolling. Jordan Travis, get in his groove. He make a big 30, 40-yard run, and then Keon Coleman make a red zone catch, 20-yard, 15, 20-yard touchdown, and then Florida State back rolling. But I said it all year. I said if Florida State play Georgia, they would get blown out. They would get dominated. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. Like I said, Jordan Travis is good, but even if he didn't get hurt, he still going to be, at best, a 4th, 5th round quarterback, maybe a 3rd round, but he wasn't going to be no 1st, 2nd round pick. Or Johnny Wilson, he out and out. He going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. Trey Benson out and out. He going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes from Florida State out and out, they was going to be 3rd or 4th round picks, And they needed this game, because if you go against Georgia and you ball out, like a Lab McConkey, who making plays, Kamar Nassar, he gonna be a top 50 pick, and he still played. I'm just saying. And Kirby Smart told him not to play. So, either way, Florida State, that's always next year. With y'all going 9-3. 9-3 next year. Unless the ACC is trash. And luckily, 9-3, as long as you win the conference, you still can make the playoffs. Either way, though, Georgia is a way better team than Florida State. Healthy, not healthy. Like I said, if Jameis Winston, Jalen Ramsey played, Georgia's still a better team. Ward done, y'all got Derrick Brooks, it don't matter. And I blame Marvin Jones Jr. for listening to his pops, Marvin Jones Sr., to let him convince him to go to this embarrassment in Tallahassee. Like, come on, man. You could have been a top 15 pick at Georgia. I mean, you still could be a top 15 pick at Florida State, but you want to... Here what it is, man. I blame Marvin Jones Sr., for even doing this. And he was at the game. Marvin Jones Jr. was at the game. He posted up at the game. You know what I'm saying? he was on the Georgia side. But he posted up at the game and watching this embarrassment like, dog, I wish I could just say April Fools and I was just playing. You know what I'm saying? Either way, RIP Florida State. Georgia just had their way with y'all. You know what I'm saying? It what it is. Georgia had, I don't even know how many yards. I think like 673 yards or something. Florida State had like 209 total yards or something. I don't know. But the game was over. As soon as Georgia went up 14, I ain't gonna say that. As soon as Georgia, the game was over. As soon as the game got announced that Sunday, the game was already a blowout. But have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever time you watch this game. RIP. FSU. Oh.